Officers responded to the Wal-Mart at 1911 Marcia Sharp Freeway, where they had a report of a man armed with a baseball bat and some knives. It turned out to be two large knives, who had attacked an employee at the Wal-Mart there in the cart return area. The officers, when they arrived, they found the suspect outside the store, there in the grassy area that you saw in the videos. They made contact and confronted the individual. They, in fact, had the baseball bat. He retrieved one of the knives from apparently his waistband area. They challenged the suspect. They were very calm. The officers maintained their distance. They waited for backup officers to arrive. When other officers did arrive on scene, they formulated a plan. They had one of the officers retrieve a LPD-issued shotgun that's loaded with less lethal rounds, commonly referred to as beanbag rounds. I want to emphasize that they're less lethal rounds. Their intended use is to incapacitate an armed subject. They, again, formulated a plan. One of the officers, again, after giving multiple instructions for the suspect to drop the knife that he had, to drop his weapons, and he refused to do so, that officer fired one round, and according to the training that the officers received with less lethal rounds, they evaluated the effectiveness of the first round. It was not effective. In fact, the suspect took an aggressive stance towards the officers and turned towards the officer firing the less lethal round. The officer fired another round. They evaluated that round. It was not effective either. He fired a third round. It was still not effective, and again, the officers maintained the plan that they had. They stayed back, evaluating the effectiveness of the less lethal rounds. Another officer advanced from the side, attempted to use a taser. It was not effective either. They fired a fourth round, and again, we have areas of the body that we aim at with the less lethal rounds. Unfortunately, from what we can tell, and again, the investigation is ongoing, it appears that, and this will hopefully come out in the investigation, that the fourth round deflected off the suspect's left arm and struck the suspect in the head just above his left eye. That in fact brought the suspect down. He collapsed on the ground. The officers went up to the suspect, put him in handcuffs. They moved the weapons away from him. He dropped the bat and the large knife that he had. They again put handcuffs on him. They immediately called for EMS. They administered first aid. They monitored his vital signs, checked to make sure he was breathing. The suspect was taken to UMC, where he currently is. He's in, from what I understand, stable condition. Normally, whenever we use less lethal rounds, it's a use of force. It's evaluated by supervisors on shift. However, when serious bodily injury occurs with less lethal rounds fired from a firearm, we go ahead and investigate that as an officer-involved shooting, no different than if they fired lethal rounds. And so that's how we are investigating that. So an officer-involved shooting call-out was initiated this morning. Internal Affairs came out. Crimes Against Persons section came out. That investigation is ongoing. I'm not going to make any determination as to whether this incident is justified or not. Again, it is an ongoing investigation, but very early we're going to put the videos out from the police cars to make sure that we're ahead of it and that you understand that we are conducting the investigation, and that from what we can see from the preliminary inquiry, the officers followed policy, and that they again made a plan, that it's the equipment that they're issued and the training that they receive with that equipment and the restraint in this particular situation and the poise that they had that brought this to an ending that did not require the use of deadly force. I want to really emphasize that this was in fact a deadly force situation. The suspect was armed with two deadly weapons, and the information the officers received was that he had in fact attacked one of the Wal-Mart employees with those weapons. And so they showed great restraint from what we can see so far, and they avoided the use of deadly force. And I think in this situation here, this certainly could have ended in the loss of human life, and they were able to avoid that by relying on the equipment they're issued, the training they received with that equipment, and again, their ability to remain calm, formulate a plan, and and then execute that plan effectively. Again, I've told you the arrested subject's name is Martin Salazar Hernandez. He's 50 years old. Currently, detectives are obtaining arrest warrants for 2 counts of aggravated assault in relation to the victims at Wal-Mart. He attacked one, actually striking them with the baseball bat. He then threatened another employee with the knives. And then we are charging him also with resisting arrest, and as well as unlawful carry of weapons. The knives were illegal due to their length, and the bat, considering what he was doing with it, constitutes a club under Texas law. So there's the charge of unlawful carry of a weapon. So with that, that's from the preliminary investigation. I want to again emphasize this is an ongoing investigation. It's by no means concluded. We intend to get it done quickly. We intend to move through it expeditiously through the coming week and have a resolution to it, in the very near future, and put more information out with it. So with that, let me see if I can take any questions that you have.
They said earlier